Welcome to Mr. Moon Has Left the Building. I am Sam Palmer.
And I'm Eddie Chard. How's your week so far, Sam?
It's been all right, I've got to say. Actually, driving to work yesterday, I thought I absolutely love my life. Yeah, I'm really living the LA lifestyle at the minute, to its fullest.
So you should.
And even today, like I went yesterday, my day was, I woke up early. I always wake up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock for some strange reason. I wish I didn't, but I actually just said to a minute ago to Petra, like, I wish I could sleep in. I go downstairs and I kind of, in that hour and a half before everyone gets up, I always do like all my emails and admin for the day. So I kind of just get it out of the way literally as soon as I wake up. And then I take the kids to school, went for a bit of breakfast. I went and played tennis with Petra in the morning, like outside. Sun was beating down. I went in. We got a plunge pool in. I've become one of these new age plungers. So
Is that
the cold pool, yeah. So I get in that every morning, and then I've got like an outside shower that is also. It takes like a couple of minutes to heat up, so you have a couple of minutes of like. It's actually probably colder than the plunge pool. So I have a cold shower outside, sit down, have a coffee, went to work, come back, went to my boys' football team, watched that all outside with the parents. It was like light till 7 o'clock. And then come home, had a bit of dinner, and went with my boy to get a bit of dinner together. We had some tacos. And I spent majority of my day outside. So it was, looked at some great real estate. So it was. I actually was driving and thought, you couldn't want a better life than this.
In glorious weather, no doubt as well.
The weather's been it's been a bit bad here for.
What's bad?
Well, bad as I say. There was a couple of weeks of rain, like not even consecutive. Like it was. We had like 3 days of bad rain. We had a couple of days bad rain, a bit colder. But now the clocks have gone back. I'll tell you what. It's like being light till 7 o'clock again. It's funny because we don't get the light like you do in the summer. You know, like when it stays like till 9:30. Like it really is kind of 7 is kind of the cutoff here of summer, really. Okay. So it's a little bit late, but nowhere like England in the summer. But it's just lovely. So it's and then same again today. I went in the pool with Minnie about half hour ago. She just swam her first lap of the pool. So she was really happy. And then we're doing a podcast, and then I'm going to work, and then there it is.
Where did it all go wrong, Sam?
Exactly. I've got to say, I did actually think that yesterday. I was actually like, if I had to paint my perfect life, it is this at the minute. So
good for you, mate.
And even our team is doing well at the minute. So I'm touching wood now because it's. So I think we've got a bit of I suppose it's like a 3/4 of the season's gone, really, isn't it? What we got? Is it 9 or 10 games left?
Yeah, you might be right with 9. It might be 9 now. I don't know. It's definitely 9 or 10.
It's around that though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Villa was the last before we got kind of a 2-week break now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So Villa game, you thought. Your predictions, I suppose, we were being a bit optimistic at the time, I think. A 2-2 draw when you got the points because it was a 1-1. And I said 2-1, which and as the VAR was going on, I thought, I've got him, I've done him. Like it's done, but I just had a feeling they weren't going to give it when it went that long.
I thought the longer it went on, I thought it was the better for us.
I did at one point, and then the commentators, because you wouldn't have heard the commentators were going, no, this is not going to be given. They're going to tell him to go to the screen, like because they'd obviously could hear it, but obviously in the stadium you can't hear it. So I kind of thought, this is done. But how did you think of? Let's go game overall.
Okay, I thought we played well. I thought first half we were very good.
Yeah.
High intensity, high press. Villa weren't great, but I think that was also to do with the way we pressed them. They kept giving the ball to us. So they
from the back, didn't they? From the back, they were giving the ball
Yes,
to
they
us.
obviously they try and play out, and we kept to just keep nicking the ball off them, which was great. I thought we played really well first half. I thought it was a really good performance.
Yeah, I thought.
Second,
Well, what I kept seeing is what I can kind of really remember is Alvarez getting that ball a lot.
yeah,
He
yeah,
looked like he had a very good game to me. I thought as I say, I thought I was with you. I thought we played well. Antonio, I thought was good again,
yeah, he was, he
and could
was.
be a major, major player for us if he can play like he is at the moment.
Yeah, it shows how much of a influence he is when he's playing well, doesn't it?
I think probably that is probably a little bit of our attacking when we can go a little bit more attacking because we've got his pace.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he took his goal
It's just
really well, I thought.
great goal. He really is a handful. I still think, like watching Kudus, I still don't think he looks really comfortable out there on the left. Obviously, he's always a threat with his running ability and just his pace, but he's not the same player on the left as he is on the right. I don't think personally.
I agree
But
with you on that, and I think you see. I think what you get with him on the left is moments of brilliance
mm,
rather than sustained brilliance.
yeah, I think when he gets the ball in the attacking third on the right, you're just waiting for something to happen, basically. But he looks
Yeah,
when he's on the left, you kind of don't know what he's going to do, um, and he's still a threat. But I just think on the right, or maybe even in the centre as well, he's even more of a threat. But it's good that we're finding a balance to get all three in Paquetá and Bowen in the team.
yeah. I suppose
Um,
that is the thing that they've got to look at is how do you get all three of them in a team.
yeah.
Kudos is probably sacrificing himself a little bit because I
Mm,
think we're both probably in agreement. It's not his ability that we're questioning,
no, not at all.
or even his like motivation or like how
Mm,
he's playing at all. It's just probably because he is out of position.
mm,
So I think that he's probably bit Rooney-ish maybe in ways where he's doing probably a job for the team
yeah.
in places. But I think he's been a great signing.
Oh, he's been brilliant. He's exceptional. It's been a great sign. And I mean, in that first half as well, that goal disallowed, which I've watched it back so many times, and
What was it
it's not,
disallowed for?
it was
Remind.
a foul. It was a foul on the keeper,
Yeah,
but
that was
there's a
it.
bit
Yeah,
of there's a bit of contact there, but it's not a foul. And if that contact's on any other player, the ref is never giving a foul. And weirdly, he blew up rather than let the game go and then it go to sort of VAR because he blew up before it went in.
yeah.
They can't go to VAR because I think VAR might have had a look at that and said, I don't see anything there. But just our luck.
And then I saw criticism of the second half that we didn't go for it. First half we went for it, I think we were very attacking in the first half.
Mm,
I saw criticism of that we never went for it that second half a little bit until at the end, really. But do you think there was a bit of game management there of we are playing Villa, who have basically been a top four team all year. At one point, we're going for the top spot.
mm,
Very good team. I think we're all in agreement. But yes, maybe we could have opened them up. I think they might have been there for the taking. But equally, I think they could have hurt us as well.
yeah,
We kept Watkins quiet. Um,
yeah.
so he's a fantastic. The other player they got that I think is brilliant is Douglas Luiz.
Good footballer. Great footballer.
They're very
Really
good. And they
good.
changed it at half time as well, didn't they? To bring on Matty Cash and I can't think
Well,
of the
this
other player.
is who else did they? Oh, they booked Diaby on, didn't they? This
Diaby,
is what I
that's
was
it.
going to say. But first off, I was saying to those sitting around me, I was saying Villa cannot be as bad as they were first half in the
Yeah.
second half. So they're gonna come out strong. Obviously, they made a couple of substitutions because they played two up top this game, which they never normally do. So I thought, they're going to be a bit open, and I thought it was just going to be goals galore or both ends in the game. But I mean, that didn't happen. But I just thought that they were going to have to change it, Villa, and they did. and they come out and their shape was much better. And I just think they just come at us. They're losing the game, so they've got. Do you know what I mean? They've got
Yeah.
to try and get back in the game. I think we did sit back probably a little bit too much and just invited that pressure. But I must say we defended really well this week.
Yeah, I
And
thought so as well.
we've been moaning that we haven't defended well for a while, but I thought this week we actually defended really well.
And I thought Areola, again, he had two. There was one where he made a double stop that was so important.
Yeah.
He's really has become, and actually, he's probably up there for Hammer of the Year. When you look at it, he's had a brilliant season considering last year when he was probably the bit part player. I think he made a hell of a lot of mistakes when he did come in, not in Europe, but in games. I think he was at fault for goals. It begs a question then, and I don't think he will do it. Should Areola be in goal for Europe? We had this conversation last year with Fab, I suppose. And it would be harsh to do it on Fab because, again, he hasn't put a foot wrong in Europe, but the games are a little bit tougher now in Europe. And do you put him in? It's like when we've taken him out. Was it Sheffield United for the penalty, wasn't it? I think he was injured as well, but Areola's got good save rate on penalty as well.
Yeah,
so I think he's become quite vital for us. I think Emerson will win Hammer of the Year this year. But
do you?
Yeah, I think well, that is a good answer. Who do you think we're at quarter way of the season? Who's your standout players?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely got to be up there and in the conversation. Emerson, I think he has had a great season. I just think, with Hammer of the Year, you've got to think of who is the most important sort of player to the team. And as well as good a season he's had, Bowen's goals, to me, have been...
and he hasn't put a foot wrong.
No. And he always works his nuts off, Bowen, and he always gives everything. And he's got that bit of quality to beat a man, to score a goal. And I just think this season he's been brilliant and probably shades it for me.
Yeah, I agree, and it's probably like when Deck was there. Really, you had this conversation about other people. I think Bowen's almost fallen into that category of you expect it now.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think he might be playing himself away from West Ham. I know it seems Liverpool are big admirers of him, and it might be good that Klopp's leaving because Klopp is a big fan of him. Do you think could be at that level?
There are games where I definitely feel he's unbelievable and definitely at that level. Then there's other games where I think he's not quite
because there's a difference in player.
Yeah,
but it's funny because if you had to ask me now, I would say no, I don't think he is. But yet, when I look at some of them people at other clubs, I think, is he as good as them? And I think, he definitely is. And I think it's because he's a bit I think it's because he's workmanlike.
Yeah.
It's not that he's blessed with loads of skill. And you think of them players as the most skillful players. I'm just thinking the one that keeps springing in my mind at the minute is Doku. Yeah. Incredibly quick. I know we were linked with him in the summer, weren't we? He, I think, has been... He's just so quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
He looks fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
But then I look at Bowen's output compared to Doku's, and it far exceeds Doku's.
And this is what I mean. His numbers, assists, goals, they're right up there.
Yeah.
I think he's still third Premier League top goal scorer.
He's got to be one of them, yeah.
Watkins and Haaland.
Salah, would probably be up there as well, but I think he's definitely up there, isn't
he? So I don't know, but again, he's the sort of progressive player that if he did go to Liverpool, you could see him improving again, couldn't you? He's got that mindset where he wants to.
And you look at Manchester United, like their wingers, the other side there, and you look and go, well, Bowen definitely gets in that side.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah.
So I know Manchester United, they want to rebuild, things like that, but maybe he's not a high profile enough name, and that's why we think that.
Yeah,
And I
maybe.
think that sometimes does it. He seems to be a quiet guy, doesn't he? You don't really see him on lots of adverts and things like that. But he's been one of our best signings,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
amazing signing.
20 million from Hull, but he's on a long contract to West Ham as well, isn't he?
Yeah, signed 7 years early this season, wasn't it?
So if he
So
goes, it's big money.
yeah,
But it looks, I'm
yeah,
seeing lots of reports of Paqueta again. I know he's got the release clause of 85 million. That seems cheap now.
yeah. I mean, I don't think. I mean, these last few games, I don't think he's been brilliant, Paquetá. But I mean, obviously, he is world class on his day. And yeah, 85 million. You'd like to get a bit more than that, wouldn't you?
I
But
do love him though.
what's that?
I do love him.
Oh no, he's a maverick, isn't he? He's and
There's just
he's obviously so
something
important
about
to the way
him
we play.
that he's freakishly strong, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like when he first come, I suppose he wasn't like he's clearly worked on that because that has changed. But he loves to use his body to
and he
mug off a player. Like he really does, doesn't he? He's like the way he does it, and he just throws himself into them, and then like plays the ball off. Like I think though, at a top club, I don't think he'd be allowed to get away with what he does, and that's where you might not see. I'm in some ways surprised. It's City that really want him. In actual fact, I could see him more at like a Barcelona at the minute, like because of their strength of their team. But even Real Madrid, but Barcelona especially, like their team is not strong. But City, you look and think, where does he play? Like he's not going to play in front of KDB. So I
no, he's not. No,
just don't know. I
where he
wouldn't want him to
plays.
go there and just be the forgotten sub. That would be a shame for football, really, because we love him, I think. But I think he seems to love it at West Ham.
He does, doesn't he? He
Yeah,
really does.
he's really embraced it. Like a lot of all them new players have, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I think it's been good. I think
I was
he's
gonna
been
say,
the standout.
say that again.
I think he's been a
Sorry, Ryan.
standout this year.
Yeah, no, he has, and at times just unplayable he's been. But I was just going to say, I think Alvarez definitely needs a bit of a mention because he's becoming, when he doesn't play, we're a completely different team. Obviously, he picked up that booking against Villa, which is an absolute killer. We was talking about it on the pod in previous weeks. So now he misses the next two games and the Tottenham game, which
What do you mean? So he's now picked up another one for Villa. Oh, against Villa. So now he misses the Tottenham game.
misses the Wolves and Tottenham, and then obviously he picked a stupid one up, which we spoke about in Europe against Freiburg. So he misses the first leg against Leverkusen as well.
There's
which
a
is
few games he's missed
actually,
now due to suspension as well.
yeah.
But the problem is, I
actually,
suppose it's also we haven't got the replacement.
well, this is what I was going to say. It's actually a huge problem because we haven't got anyone like him who does his job really.
No, Souček can do it, but that's not. He's not Alvarez.
No.
And
He's
Phillips
so influential.
should be that player.
Yes, exactly.
He's the perfect. In actual fact, you would think that if Phillips was on his day, should be trying to push Alvarez out the team. But he's been a very good signing, Alvarez. I think we've been so spoilt in that position. Obviously, we've seen Dek there. So you kind of always compare him to Dek and you think, oh, well, Dek wouldn't have quite done that. But Dek's a different level of player. And I think Alvarez has been really, really good signing. Again, another man just gets on with his job, doesn't he? But his downside is that he gets booked a lot. A hell of a lot. And that's, I suppose, where you see the elite level of Declan Rice with very few bookings, not costing his team in the vital ends. But then you say Alvarez is in there battling all the time. It's just the way he plays. He can't. Yeah. He's going to pick bookings up. In actual fact, he doesn't stop sometimes, does he?
No. So it's just annoying more than anything. But he's been really, really good. And I just feel we're a different team without him. We really struggle without him actually. So
Would
it's an
you?
opportunity for Phillips though, isn't it?
It is, or I wonder if you could put a Gerd in there.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. He
I'm sure
he seems as though,
like the coaching staff are much better than me, and we're just literally picking the name out and thinking, could you put someone in there?
it's a
But
great shout, I think.
very good on the ball. Like we know he's good on the ball.
Yeah.
Think he's definitely
Defensive
possesses
minded.
the skill set to play in midfield. He's on the ball is never a problem. But yeah, because we had this with Kerrer where he could play it, but he never really did it. He never really played. I think he come on a couple of times as sub in that defensive midfield, but like for minutes. So we've never really experimented with it, and it would be something Tottenham wouldn't or Wolves wouldn't be as expecting. As there's also Ben Johnson.
I think Aguerd could be a really good shout, because he's quick, obviously defensive minded, being a defender, good on the ball, good in the air. It's like a Moyes dream, really. Like his attributes. It's just obviously it's a gamble because he doesn't play there, but Moyes is definitely a manager for moving players into different positions and it working out. So.
Well, the most famous one of them is Mr. Rice himself, because centre half, Pellegrini,
exactly
was it that put him centre mid? I think it was Pellegrini. Because it was Big Sam originally, wasn't it?
It was Billick's giving him his debut, didn't he?
Oh, sorry, I was thinking it was Big Sam. I think Big Sam gave him his debut.
Was it Big Sam?
I've got a feeling, but I could be completely wrong on it.
Yeah.
But played more under Bilic. And then Pellegrini, I think, moved him into that central midfield.
Okay. But that's
my thought with Deck was always, when he went to a top club, that they'd move him back to centre half.
Because to be fair, centre halves and holding midfielders, they've got very similar attributes, haven't they? And you'd imagine that they both can play in those positions. So,
well, I always thought if he went to Man City, that's where he'd be, because Pep especially loves a midfielder. He's done it with Mascherano, Yaya Toure. They've all played centre half for him because he loves ball playing centre half. So it's like you imagine Deck playing that John Stone role now. Yeah. It'd be I would think, a better player doing that than John Stones. So I always felt a big club, he would probably move further back. But Arsenal are blessed with two great centre halves, so it obviously didn't need to be done. But it is handy with him that he can actually play there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just throwing it out. I was thinking of it the other day with Aguerd, and I thought maybe he could be a fill-in in that central spot, because it is a big problem for us in these. Well, we've got 3 games now without Alvarez.
Yeah. Killer.
Leverkusen's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I mean for me that's the biggest, because we need to stay in the tie in Leverkusen, and we're going to have to do a lot of defending, and that position is so important.
I think I'd be willing to risk it over playing Phillips, because I think Phillips is. I honestly think he's been one of the worst players I've ever seen at West Ham, and it's. And tell
us what you really think.
I can't hide it. It's like he has been awful.
There's been nothing positive in his performances. Like, his positioning is all over the shop. He's giving the ball away, no effort, passing. I mean, he's not offered hardly anything in his performances. So I totally agree with you at the moment.
Where do you think he goes from here? Because Man City must be upset, because you would think that 45 million price tag, that no one will pay that.
No chance. I've got a big Leeds fan at work who I speak to, and I said I can see him. I could really, if you come up, I can really see him going back to. It makes sense for him to go back to Leeds, where he's, it's his hometown. Fans adore him, and he can get his confidence back. The only issue is the amount of money that he's on. So it's just whether that, but I could see, that would be. I think that probably be ideal for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I really hope he gets it back together for England as well, because there's nothing personal about like why I feel that. I just think his performances have been woeful.
Yeah, they have.
There hasn't been anything that I've looked at that I've said that I thought there's a player in this guy.
No,
And it's
just
very
looks shot.
similar for me with Cornet.
Yeah,
That we've got to just get rid of this guy. But I don't know who takes him.
Just got to try and blag him off to the Saudis or something, couldn't you?
Yeah, and I think that the
Hopefully
Calvin
watching.
Phillips could be headed. I think he's got another move in him, which is going to be lucky. And hopefully he doesn't find the form too late. Like kind of a bit like Ross Barkley, I look at always. Like he's now at Luton. He had ability above that. And his career kind of went from team to team to team. And now he's at Luton, but performing well again. But it's probably 5 years too late.
Yeah, it's a shame because he had loads of ability. He's having a great season, to be fair. I've been watching him and I've been thinking, I wouldn't mind a bit of him.
I like Luton.
Brilliant.
I like their centre-halves. They've been very unlucky in games, haven't they?
Yeah.
But they've got a bit of fight about them, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
The centre-halves really battled, didn't they?
Yeah, they've been great to watch, Luton. And now with Forest having them 4 points taken off them, they're out of the relegation zone. So they've got a real fighting chance now.
Yeah, I see. The Forest thing's a big one for them because they're not doing well. Nuno, has he picked a bad job there again? Like he's gone from, like his stock was so high at Wolves, and he's gone from Spurs where he didn't even last a season, did he?
No, he didn't. No.
To then, I think he went out to Saudi, and then to Forest and could relegate him. That could be the end of his career. It's funny how quick like a bad managerial, and I think we all would have taken Nunes. Nuno, the Spurs took him, so they saw definite something in him.
Yeah.
So it is. You look and think. Sometimes I saw an article this week in Athletics about Graham Potter. Like he's waiting around now, and he's been very quiet, but he's in the lurks, and they think West Ham are quite like Graham Potter. I've seen Tuchel being mooted as well.
Really?
I think Tuchel's stock is a bit higher than West Ham. Champions League winner. Was at a big club in Bayern Munich. Okay, maybe it hasn't gone as well. I also think he would probably want to be at a club with more money to do stuff. Yeah,
I agree. I think he would want something, I hate to say it, but bigger than West Ham. However, I've heard that Potter's got a similar attitude, which surprises me. I don't know how high he thinks he should be at this current stage, but I've heard that he's turning his nose up at West Ham at the minute.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. And well, apparently he's very liked by Sir Jim Radcliffe for Man United.
Oh, really?
Which I don't know if he's a friend of his or something like that, but I think Man United will go up in arms if they get rid of Ten Hag and get in Graham Potter. Because that, I don't think, is one to get the crowd excited now.
Nah.
But Poch looks like he could be available soon. Like the Chelsea fans are really not happy with him, are they?
No, not at all.
But then everyone is looking. Every time I see like Chelsea could be back now, and it's like they're 11th in the league. And that's where you look and go, this league is tough.
Oh, mate, so hard.
Newcastle, everyone keeps banging on about how good Newcastle have been, and Eddie Howe, what job he's done. One good season.
Yeah.
All right, no, he 2 good seasons. So he kept him up, and then obviously last year. But then you add in Europe and things like that, and it gets a different. It's different problems, and that's what you've got to look at us and go. we've got such a thin squad, and we've had such a thin squad for even last year when we won it. That squad was like the bare 11 every week, wasn't it?
Yeah, same players playing every game.
And do you think that our bad run that we just had, I think people haven't taken into consideration the injuries we had at that point, because we had Bowen, Paquetá, and Kudos. Kudos was away, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
We had all three of those out. Zuma was out at one point as well in that mix, I think.
A few games. Yeah, he missed a few games.
So you look and kind of say, well, Spurs had that dip when they had all the thing, and Spurs just got beat 3-0, or it was 3-0, wasn't it, by Fulham?
Yeah.
Fulham a surprise package for me this year. And every time I look at them in the league, I think, how are they there? Because they seem to win all the time at the moment, but they obviously losing in between, win one, lose one. But they seem, I watched them against Spurs. At one point, they were like Brazil. They were insane.
Did we speak about Marco Silva last week? I can't remember. My memory's horrendous.
you were saying, because I've seen that people are saying that they wouldn't mind Marco Silva.
Yeah, he's done an undercover decent job, and in most of the jobs he's gone to, he's done pretty well. And
he's done better at Everton as well than any of the others, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So yeah, he's quietly just going about his business, and Fulham look decent.
They do. I've got to say, there's the player that I actually quite like, and it's funny because I always couldn't understand what he was Alex Iwobi. I never, when he was at Arsenal, I never quite understood what player he was. But actually, I've been watching him quite a bit lately, and he's a good player, a good Premier League player.
Yeah, I agree.
They got and what happened to him? Because I know they got him on loan. I was a bit upset we didn't go for him. Brozier.
Yes. So yeah, they got him on loan from Chelsea, haven't they? But this Muniz kid, this Brazilian youngster, they stuck him in, and he basically just hasn't stopped scoring.
Yeah.
So Brozier's not getting a look in.
Would you fancy him?
Not on the recent performances, let's say that. Even when he got a bit of a go at Chelsea this season, he looks like that injury has taken its toll on him a little bit, and he needs to get up to speed. So I think it'd be a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I agree. I liked him. I actually really wanted us to go for him.
When he's Southampton.
Yeah, even when he went back to Chelsea last year, I thought there's something in there, and I think just playing every week will help him. Obviously this Fulham move hasn't worked, but it might drive his price down a little bit. A bit of a gamble, but a big man.
I mean, it might be a loan with an option sort of thing, a deal like that.
Yeah, I think because we're in different level of buying players. I think that we got a bit of a rebuild on. I think we need centre halves. We probably need another left back or right back. We need. I don't think we need centre midfielders, but we probably need that left winger.
Definitely need another holding midfielder, I think.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you're talking about midfielders. Yeah, you are.
We're not going to keep Flynn Downs as well. If we're not going to keep.
Apparently, having a very good season at Southampton.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Southampton fans love him. But
and actually, did quite well for us.
He did all right, didn't he? When he wasn't playing number 10, when Moyes was playing.
And it's not his fault. It's not his position.
No, and he done all right even when he played there. But why was he playing there? It's just bizarre. But he done all right for us. I do wonder whether he's quite
at that level,
quite good enough. But he would be a great squad player. Like to come in for, he's no Alvarez, but to come in now, I'm sure we'd do a decent enough job.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was. We never look back at. Sadly, we'll probably never remember Flynn Downs going forward, but it was never negativity about Flynn Downs. He done a good job. I think probably it was a little bit above we were probably a little bit above his level. I think he's maybe a little bit similar to Josh Cullen.
Yeah.
Burnley might be his sort of level, like, or that latter part, Palace. Not that team pushing further. We probably were a year or two past him, I think. Which there's no like disrespect to him, but it may be if he'd have got more of a chance, he would have done well because he never let us down, but he never set the world alight either.
No, totally agree with that.
But I think because we've got a few. There's a few that I forgot actually he was with us. It was only on that article I was reading the other day about how well he's doing at Southampton. And I think without him, Southampton also don't do as well either. So maybe that's the perfect fit for him. Is Southampton's a good club for him, and he goes on and has a great career.
Well, if they come up and we can get a decent amount for him, then
what do we pay for him? 12.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit of money that we could try and recoup there.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Can we talk about VAR, please? Because it's winding me up. Thoughts? Are you? Let's say if you could get rid of it now, would you?
Yes.
Or would you just? Would you?
I hate it. It's ruined football for me.
Amend it.
Ruin it. We've touched this before, but I watch less football now. And football, I'm a football fanatic, but I absolutely hate it. I hate what it's done to the game. I knew it would as well. I remember when it was coming out, I was living in Australia and all my friends were rugby fans at the time and they were big pro VAR guys. And I just said, this is not rugby. It's not. We've trialled it. They're never going to get rid of it now because they've put millions into it. But it's actually gone past ridiculousness now of the inconsistencies from game to game to game. So you may as well not have it, still have the inconsistencies, and everyone get a quicker game. Yeah.
I mean, we've gone years of this game without VAR, and it's been absolutely fine, I'm exactly the same as you.
And you could have changed, look, as you say, you could change some games, like the Lampard goal against Germany, Maradona's handball. Like, there is big moments that it could have changed. But, listen, we might have been gone down the Tevez goal, like them sorts of things. But I think offsides in general were, although the one against us the other day, the Antonio one, because what I don't, this is what you don't see with VAR, and I've long said this. The line of a defence can change so much of the exact moment the ball leaves the foot. Now, if you take that ball, because that ball moves with the foot and at a certain point comes away from it. Now, that millisecond can change. Like, you think how much you can move in a millisecond. It's only got to be this, and you're now offside. And I hate this. You're just offside. Your fingers off. Your arms off. Like that sort of thing. The rule isn't perfect for VAR to be perfect. In sense, because there's sort of interpretation of where it leaves his foot, and they try and stop it the best they can. But if you got it right, you're taking so much more time. So, in general, though, I think the offsides works. For the ones it gets wrong, they get many more right. So, would I keep that? Goal line technology, that's not even in debate. That works. We've seen it work. It's fantastic. It's quick. Buzzes on the ref's watch. Within 3 seconds, they know it's a goal. But the rest of it, handball now, is no. Me and you could not explain handball now. From what we've seen this year.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? I was going to say, we had a couple of games in Europe last season where I don't know if we had. I think it's because it's the Conference League. We don't have
VAR.
Or some grounds. I remember watching a game last season at home and we didn't have VAR, and it was. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. There's a few mistakes in the game, but you just get on with it, and it's just absolutely fine. The 2 goals that we scored against Villa, What were your thoughts on those? Do you think they were handball? Do you think they should have been disallowed?
Looking back on them now, they were both handball. They both struck an arm, in a sense. Neither were deliberate handball, or neither were arms outstretched, where it was ball like a penalty where your arm's too much. Would I feel aggrieved if they went against us? Yeah, probably, because of the ruling. Like Antonio's one, his arms are like this, and it's hit him and gone in.
Well, this is what I say.
And Souček's has gone off him to Bowen to in, which the rule states that I think that it's not direct. They got rid of that if it's not a direct handball to goal.
Yeah.
The rule for me is wrong, not VAR. And I think the guys in VAR actually got a very hard job because the rules are so you don't know where it is.
No.
So that's where I think the problem with VAR is. But I honestly hate it. I think it takes so much out of football. The celebrations for me used to be the best. Like the other one I hate is the shirt off celebration. Why that's a booking. I never understood how that ever became a booking. Why? That slows nothing down.
It's nonsense.
I also really don't like this extra time. This 10 minutes of game extra time. Why do we need more? Who was it the other day that said... Gerard Piqué, I saw it yesterday. Football's too long at 90 minutes. He said, like, I barely watch. He said, I watch Barcelona, but I might watch it for 40 to 50. He said, watching a game for 90 minutes non-stop, he said it becomes boring. And actually, I probably agree with that a little bit, but I don't want to see an extra 10 minutes. In an FA Cup or a cup tie, I do. But, because you've got that chance. But I just think it's stupid. We're burning the players out.
Well, they're getting more injuries as well.
Yeah, quite clearly, it's it's like adding an extra. What is it? Probably actually an extra 5 games a year on, for no real reason. It just, I don't know. I don't think it was needed. I always quite liked the Wenger rule of offside. I think it was where, as long as any part of you that can score is onside, then you're on. So then you get basically a yard between the defender. The counter argument of that is people just sit back further.
Yeah.
You can only sit back so far and then you're in your own box. So it's I don't think that would happen. I think you'd see more goals. But I think it actually nails that rule on quite easy. And then you can easily do an offside. I hate this shoulder and now it's the shirt. Like I couldn't tell you what offside is now. Again.
No.
Because it changes too much now.
It just looks as though they're looking for reasons to disallow goals, doesn't it? That's how it seems.
More goals are scored, I think, than any.
Are they?
But I think more penalties are given as well.
Yeah.
So I don't. What do you obviously don't like VAR?
No. It's a like that last minute goal. I mean, it was a bit of a scramble. I just knew, like everyone obviously off their seats going crazy because last minute goal. I just knew. I just thought. I said to everyone, just wait, because they're going to try and find something. I actually thought, like Antonio's goal, or the one that was disallowed, I thought they're ones that you should give because it's literally just hit him. And I don't think even the Aston Villa players appealed for it because, they couldn't really see. It just hit him and went in.
I think we've got to this place where we've made this whole thing about the arms now. Never used to be.
Yeah.
I bet if you went through Premier League games, like Alan Shearer's goals, I bet there's loads that have come off arms or things like that, which because it's part of football. I understand pushing the ball in or you punched it in, it's gone like that. If your arms are by your side, it's part of your body. It's as simple as that. I get chest in the ball, like even when we play, chest in the ball, your arms up and it hits here, that's handball because you're actually keeping it in control. If your arms are like this, for example, if you jump, a free kick's being hit at you, and you've got your arms like across your body, and it hits your arm, they do not give another free kick for handball. If your arm's up here, they do. That's for me. That's as easy as it is. That's the rule. If it hits you, it goes in. It goes in.
Yeah, and I mean, and the crazy thing about like the Antonio one as well. If that happened at the other end of the pitch and you was on your line, and they had a shot and it hit your arm while your arm was just down, they wouldn't give a penalty because it's
No, you're right.
It's not handball.
So then,
Do you know what I mean?
what about the Emerson one? So,
yeah, because his arm was away. See, I mean, there are people who say, and probably more Villa fans would say, "Oh, that's a penalty."
It is a penalty in this day and age, I think. With it,
do you? Yeah, I mean,
but if you see, he's in a position where he's in a defensive position where his arm is just there and his arm doesn't move. So,
no.
And I actually think it's Leon Bailey actually tries to hit his arm. If you watch it back, I think Bailey actually clips it to the arm. He sees it. It's funny. I noticed it on, I think it was Match of Day. The way he kicks that ball, it's like he's aiming at that arm. And I think he sees it, it's out. And that's then what you can do. Watch that, though, and see what you think. Because honestly, it sounds like you're like a mad, just so focused on loving West Ham that you've come to that conclusion. But I actually think he did pick the arm out. So, and I don't think it is a penalty because it's not. Penalties used to be a bad tackle. There's too many penalties now or penalty calls for handballs when they never used to be. Most penalties now are handballs, aren't they, rather than fouls? We know a foul. That one we get. Like, that one's not even thing. But the handball one, it used to hit players in the hand. You can't get your hands away. It's almost like we've made this rule that players shouldn't have arms anymore. And that's when you see defending behind the back. Mavropanos states. So probably a new age of defending where people do that because of the rulings. And again, it's just too much airspace, I think, airtime for that stupid ruling.
Yeah. Rather
than concentrating on the football.
But I knew that prick ref Jared Gillett was going to disallow it. He is he's the man who was on VAR when Maxwell Cornet equalised against Chelsea. So I was obviously at the game, went absolutely ballistic. And then, I mean, it was disallowed for absolutely no reason as well.
Nothing.
And that's one of the... I'll always remember it because I was absolutely livid. I come out of that ground, I could have got myself into a lot of trouble because I was absolutely livid. I could not believe it. And he was the guy on VAR that day, so I'll never forget that prat.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to see him just scrap it, but I think because it's been rolled out around the world, it's not going to be. Is there any new talks of rules coming out for the Euros? Because they usually showcase them in the Euros or World Cups, don't they? These new rules. Is there anything new that we're hearing, that you've heard?
There was a talk of the blue card, wasn't there, for about 5 minutes, which I just...
Have they got rid of that now?
Yeah, they've got rid of it. Well,
thank God.
The boss of UEFA just said, yeah, absolutely not. But I don't even know where that even started from and why that would even...
I get it in rugby. It works for that sport. I don't really watch rugby, but it works. It's a stop-start sport. It's a sim bin.
For what, though? For...
I don't actually know.
Descent.
I think it's descent. I think.
Okay.
But it's ridiculous.
What? Just leave the game alone. That's all I think. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, they're trying to mess with it too much. And I think it's like they're trying to get it more talking points. Because look, it's more... the more talking points they have, these things like this, and it's more clickbait. So, and it's more money for the Premier League in the... I saw something, I don't understand because I haven't actually read the article, but there's an independent reviewer of being appointed, I think, of football.
Oh, is there?
I think it's something to do with to stop clubs breaking off the Super Leagues and things like that.
Okay.
What makes me laugh about that is the Premier League actually done it.
Oh, yeah.
And now, they're up in arm, but they were the ones that broke away from the Football League. Like,
So true.
it's so funny, isn't it? Like, people just
Yeah.
forget that. Like, no. It's despicable. Didn't you do that in '92? Because it was a football league, wasn't it? And then they just broke off and said, "No, we're going." But yeah, that, I can't remember that with how they chose the teams for the Premier League, because it wasn't just a top. It can't have been just a qualification.
There used to be 24 teams
There was
in
the
the
first
top
year of the
league.
Premiership, wasn't it? Or the first 2 years, 4 went down. There's 42 teams in the Premiership at one point.
Yeah, no, I do remember that.
No, sorry, 24 teams, not 42 teams. 42 teams.
24 teams. I don't know. Was it just who got promoted and who got relegated that season?
I can't remember, because Leeds would have been the champions going into it, because they were the last Football League champions.
Okay.
I'll have a look into that, actually, because I don't know how if it was the whole top division just moved and they just recalled it, or I wonder if some got left behind who didn't want it, and because Oldham were in the first Premiership, Swindon, or maybe that was the second year.
Right.
There was a few teams.
Did we get promoted into the Premier League, or did
we got promoted to? We didn't. We weren't in it. I don't think we were in it the first year.
Can't remember.
I think we came into it in 93, 94. I think the first year of the Premiership never had West Ham in it, and we got promoted with Newcastle to it.
Okay.
And Newcastle, yeah. They, I've got a feeling we weren't in it. So that is the case. Or did we didn't get relegated from it, did we? From the first thing. So that, wait there, do you know what? I'm going to have a look now, because then that shows you West Ham wasn't in the first Premiership. So then there might be a reason. Maybe we didn't want to go with it. First teams, Premiership table, 92, 93. So then that'll tell you who was in it.
My memory is terrible, so I can't really help you.
We were not in the first year of the Premiership. I thought we weren't. So it was Man United, top 3. Man United, Villa, Norwich. Third in the Premiership, first inception year. Blackburn, QPR, Liverpool, Sheffield Wednesday, Spurs, Man City, Arsenal in 10th, Chelsea in 11th, Wimbledon, Everton, Sheffield United, Coventry, Ipswich, Leeds, Southampton, Oldham, Palace, Borough and Forest were all relegated in the first year.
Okay.
And then Forest must have come up again quickly, because I remember Forest being there, because then they had like Collymore. I didn't realise that was the first, but that we were not in the first year. So we came in 93, 94 with Billy Bonds. We got promoted that year, that 92, 93 season, to the Premiership. I think Newcastle won the league.
Okay.
But I don't think it was a playoff. I think we came up in second. We must have, or third, or maybe there must have been 4 up at that time. So there was 4. Oh no, wait there. Did that just say there? No, only 3 went down the first year. But I remember it did go to 4. Yes, because there was 22 teams originally, and then they obviously cut a team because it went to. Because we're how many in the Premiership now? 20.
20 now.
Yeah, so we've cut 2 teams from then. So there was 2 seasons where there was 4 relegated. I think it was the next 2 seasons 4 got relegated.
Okay.
So you forget, actually, didn't you, the inception of the Premiership?
Yeah.
So
the old Premier League.
I don't really remember football before the Premiership.
No, I know what you mean.
I wasn't a football fan before the Premiership, really.
No.
Like I went to West Ham, I wore a kit,
Yeah.
but I never watched football, FA Cup or something like that. Also, it wasn't on telly, really.
He was quite young then, though, as well, wasn't he? When you think about it.
Well, my first season ticket year was 94, 95. I was 11. Yeah. So that's kind of when my journey really started. I remember the first year. I'll tell you what I remember. I remember buying the newspaper every that week. The People or
Sun.
News and the World.
Okay.
No, Sun never used to be on a Sunday. News of the World and People. And
Yeah.
reading the articles, and I remember cutting them out and putting them on my wall each week. And that must have been, that was our first year of the Premiership. Dale Gordon, he was our big sign, I think, from Norwich, wasn't he?
Yeah.
With the old Tash, didn't he?
Yeah. Good player, Dale Gordon.
Mike Marsh, that was that sort of team.
Burrows.
Breaker, Potts, Ian Fuhrer, the goalie.
Oh, he
Ludo.
like you as well.
Who else was in that team? Morley up front, Chapman. Them two were the strikers, weren't they? Steve Jones.
Peter Butler,
yes. Martin Allen, Bishop, Matty
Yeah.
Holmes, Matthew Reid. Matthew Rush, that was it. He was our only black player for quite a while, wasn't he?
He was
a winger, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I remember him, and then he was, so, and we had no foreign players really then, was it? Ian Fuhrer, I suppose he was probably, he must have been, and Ludo.
Yeah. Was
Left
Mark
back.
Reaper a little bit later?
94, 95 Reaper.
Okay.
He was with, that team was Dix had come back. Right back would have been Potsy, Tim Breaker, maybe. Tim Breaker would have still been there. Ludo. Centre halves at that time. Bilic. Rio just coming through. Reaper. Simon Webster was there. Then you had Robbie Slater, right wing. Danny Williamson, centre mid. With Bish. I don't think Mike Marsh was there then. I can't think who would have been left. Stan Azaridis. Jerome Bohr. Actually, that year, 94, 95, Cotty and Dowie.
Okay.
Mike Newell coming, I think, the season after. Yeah, Cotty and Dowie. You forget Tony Cotty actually came back to us.
And he scored goals as well.
And he must have been quite, because he then went on to win the cup with Leicester, didn't he? After that,
did he?
Yeah, I think he won the League Cup with Leicester, and he ended up he goes every week, doesn't he, Tony Cotty?
Yeah, always he was on my flight in Freiburg actually.
He loves it, doesn't he? Clearly, he is a real West Ham fan. Like, he's always there.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, in actual fact, or you never go away and don't see Tony Cotty, do you?
He's at every game. He loves it.
Right, I think we've run out of time.
Yeah, had a good old chinwag today, didn't we?
I know we actually didn't cover the things we did, but I think the next 2 weeks we've got international, haven't we? So I think bring in a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah,
we had touched on a little bit at the end there. The good old days.
Oh, so good. Even when we weren't winning anything, it was still just great to be a West Ham fan, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mark Reaper, I was trying to think, who was Mark Reaper's centre-back partner? At the back, West Ham.
I remember.
94, 95.
Was that before Bilic then? Was it?
No, because it's the centenary kit. So Rio did play in that kit, but we used to use that kit for 2 years.
The one with bubbles all over.
Yes. So the first year, the 94, 95, I think it was 95, 96 when it was Hearts and Kitson in that kit. And Bilic and Rio coming through. I think that was the second season, because you used to have them kits for 2 years, didn't you? 94, 95 was definitely our centenary year with that horrible collar, and it was like a silk kit. They still sell that in the club shop. I actually saw a picture of Nobes in it yesterday. They don't have pony on it, does it? It just is the kit. Actually, let's not discuss it. We're going to discuss kits next week, because we've had some absolute shitters and some good ones. I don't think our colours lend themselves to kits.
No,
sometimes.
I was thinking that.
Like when
don't.
you
They
look at
definitely
other
don't.
teams, they wear them out. Like Real Madrid's, how good does it look? PSG's
Yeah.
when you see a tracksuit,
Yeah.
saying
I
Juventus.
gen- I generally think our away kits are generally better, just because you can have the different colours. You know, you can have the whites, the blue, navies, the blacks. That black kit. Oh, do you know what I mean?
That black kit, I think we was undefeated in as well. One of those kits, the one where Rice was. I think we never got defeated in it. My mate Stoey, who does all the memorabilia, he always goes on about that's a special kit, that one. He said West Ham never lost in it.
I love that kit.
I love the white one. Is it this year's the white one?
Yeah, it's nice.
It is this year.
Yeah,
I think it's one of my favourite ever kits. We're not going to talk about kits. That's next week. Right. I'm writing it down.
Next time.
Right. I will see you later. It is goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.